Alright then, so game number 3 is gonna be played on Medit, on vanilla rules, so basically same as vanilla, with no shooting dogs as well. So ChronoJJ is gonna be playing Isis, whereas More is gonna be playing Zeus. So that's kinda like this classic matchup. So let's see if the Isis is gonna be really that useful here, and if maybe we're gonna be seeing some faster heroic from More. I'm really curious about that, because for Zeus, it's quite a solid strategy to go for the faster heroic. Not only on Titans, but on vanilla as well. I have seen it, for example, used in the 2v2 tournament. If I remember correctly, it was the 2v2 last year, or was it earlier this year? My memory is really bad. But anyway, also hosted by Evil Destroyer. And Berserker was playing that, and it was really working very well. He advanced at about 645, 650, something along those lines. And even though the water fight was quite intense still after that, well, it worked in the end. But anyway, let's go back to this game, which is placing the dog in pretty much the worst spot that you can find all around, it seems like, for More. If that was a competition, he would be definitely in the finals in here for that. As he definitely needs to be placing the dog also somewhere about in the middle, because that's where more fishies are gonna be, because there's a pretty good chance he's not gonna be finding more of them here. Yeah, I can see a threesome here, threesome further away. It's not gonna be as tragic as it potentially could have been, like having absolutely nothing in there. But otherwise, the dog, placing the dog in natural position about here, in the forefront. 3, 2, 3, that would be so much better spot for him. But anyway, that's how he chose to build it. So that's how it's going to be. Already scouting on the other side of the map. Let's see if he's gonna be bolting the villager. Apparently not, as he's not really scouting the shoreline all that much. And I'm not scouting it all that much, so let's see what he's gonna be doing with it a bit later, as we're gonna be switching into ChronoJJ. As we are gonna be... Oh, there's a bolt coming on the Pharaoh, and... Right. So is it better to bolt the Pharaoh or the villager? That's the real question here. I can see an idea behind this. But what is usually much more problematic is killing villager building the dock. The very first one. That's usually what you want to do if you are playing as a Zeus and want to bolt and make some kind of problems for the enemy economy early on. And yeah, well, maybe More was just thinking that it's too late. He didn't even go on the shoreline. And yeah, well, doesn't really matter at this point. He did kill the Pharaoh. And that's something that is gonna be maybe a bit of an issue for ChronoJJ and slowing him down. So let's see. Is gonna be any kind of huge problem for him or not. But of course, he's still the Egyptian. He's gonna be able to spam the dogs. But this time, they're not gonna be shooting, of course. So there we are. We are gonna be looking at this gold mine behind this base. It's gonna be fairly safe. So not any kind of raiding is gonna be all that possible from More on his economy. And there is a gold mine quite close by to him. It's not really bad position at all. And even though it could be assailable from the water by even arrow ships, it seems like, from about here, I'm thinking it's still not a bad position. Can just place a Migdal about here. It's gonna be having a very good map for himself. Alright, let's switch off. Fog of 4. Alright, so what do we see? TC in range at the top side for More. That is definitely notable, as that is gonna be very important for him if he wants to be staying alive. And the one at the bottom for ChronoJJ, that is... I think it's slightly outside of the range. Just so though. It's very close, so maybe I could be wrong, and it could be still on basically the last tile of being in range of the water, but I think that it's not, as otherwise there are plenty of gold mines on the right side of the map for ChronoJJ and More as well, without really any kind of TCs. Only there is a TC for ChronoJJ, so maybe he's gonna be tempted a lot more on the right side. Well, maybe, quite certainly, because he doesn't have any kind of gold mines on the left side really, as this one is quite far away, covered by the berries as well. And yeah, those two are really far away and gonna be much more in power of More. So I'm expecting a ChronoJJ will naturally be developing to the right side to all the gold mines in there. So let's see if More is gonna be able to somehow stop that, or if all the gold is gonna be coming for his opponent. Or the Egyptian, which of course is gonna be making for quite some problems. Okay, apparently More is gonna be having both relics. First one for better wall hit points. The second one is gonna be for, I guess, to scout. That's good. Not only for just the scouting, that's always useful, but of course because we are on a water map, and it's basically a solid strategy to be building a few extra Pegasi on the water maps, so that you basically disturb the opponent arrow ships and they shoot after them, and if the opponent is not paying enough attention, then you can be soaking up a lot of damage and basically keeping your boats alive for quite a bit longer and completely disrupt the water battles through that. It's definitely a nice idea, and right now if you could be getting one extra for free, like why not? That's gonna be even better. It's actually a very good relic to be had on a water map like this. As of course the villages are moving to the left side. There's gonna be another dog build right next to this position. But really kind of questioning if it's needed to be having so many dogs at a position like this. So maybe it could be better to be having... Oh well, he actually is going for the dog there as well. And there as well. Okay, so it's gonna be 4 dogs for him. And am I maybe wrong? Then on hybrid the dogs are still shooting? It should be possible to basically turn it off. That's definitely possible in there. Definitely possible in there.
Rig.
And... Well, let's see, let's wait for how it actually develops. Because I'm thinking it should be possible to mod out the attack. And if not like the shooting, you should be able to basically put it like at 0. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter at all. As right now, of course, More is already in the next age, whereas ChronoJJ is advancing a bit later. It's definitely understandable, as the villager is gonna be right now dying, and that means... That of course means that with Warship in Bust, right now advancing at 520, which is not really bad time, but with More being so faster, it should be resulting into More having such a better game. But yeah, well, let's see how it's gonna be. Like, why? What the hell? What the hell? Why are you building dog here? It's just like, why? And million whys again. This is just a complete stupidity at this point. It's not nonsense, stupidity. Like, why would you build a dog there? What the hell? Is he thinking, like, why not build it here? What does he think is gonna happen? Man, seriously, this is interesting. But anyway, that's something that he cannot really explain. Here we go. You're gonna be coming, of course, into the battlefield here. Is actually ChronoJJ gonna be fighting for it, or is he going straight faster heroic? That's of course gonna be an option. He apparently is gonna be going for straight heroic. So it's gonna be like 730 for him. 730 for him right there. So that is quite solid. It's gonna be of course problem for More, because right now More, even though he is building a few more extra boats, he already does have the Pulsane on his fishing boats in there. This is not gonna be all that much of a disruption for Chrono, because he did finish with the rock on the right side, which is probably gonna be resulting in still quite a solid economy, because he can just like move with the fishing boats from one spot to the other and then deposit into all of the docks. So yeah, that's very well played. You can see ChronoJJ just now gonna be having enough food and enough gold as well, as he's clicking it to Neftis and advance at about 730. Yeah, well, More, good luck. Good luck dealing with that. That is always gonna be a problem for you. Right now, the priests will be, of course, escaping alive, but otherwise, More is absolutely not ready for anything that is to come. He's right now preparing for for even more hoplits in here. As he's even building some heroes, but that is not a good idea. Because right now he's having 2 dogs in very awkward position for himself. As of course, he's gonna be forced into the defense very soon as his opponent is advancing into the next age. And I wouldn't be surprised all that much if maybe even Chrono cast the Ancestors... Yeah, like he can cast it into the enemy economy. Right now with Odysseus and Jason being right there, it's not exactly the greatest of ideas. But he could be maybe using it on the water and basically insta-win the water like that. But is it really worth it? To be honest, pretty much not. Because he's gonna be in the next age so much sooner than More, that he can just basically produce any amount of siege boats and it's gonna be absolutely fine. And More won't be having any kind of chance of defending against that at all. So right now More has to be scared. 730 advance, yeah. And he is having like 200 food. So what is he gonna be doing? As we are gonna be switching into ChronoJJ. War barge is coming forward, yeah, absolutely no need right now. And he does cast actually into the economy, the Ancestors with the Acres, but I really don't think it's that good idea. Because of Jason and Odysseus being there as well, it's still gonna be kinda difficult, because there are only 2 heroes, and those are gonna be spawed in pretty good numbers, but unfortunately he's not really finding all that much of an economy to disrupt. He hasn't found yet the armory and all of this, so More is definitely quite lucky. Right now he's gonna be finding that, probably. It's gonna be one villager there. And finally he is looking for... Or he's finding what he was looking for, but is he actually gonna be able to kill all that many villages here? Probably so. It's gonna be 1 dead. Jason is gonna be maybe even mauled to death by all of those ancestors. You can see this is very well played, very well gauged by ChronoJJ. Killing the Jason right there. But Odysseus is probably gonna be putting a stop to all this nonsense. But come on, Chrono, control it a bit better. Because of course, could be killing the villagers a whole lot faster, but right now he's killing plenty of them anyway, so this is actually quite deadly. 1, 2, 3, about 4, 5 villages are gonna be dead. So still quite solid. Right now, is he gonna be able to kill this one still? Come on. Come on. Last hit before... Just the last hit before he actually goes down on the ground. Well, solid. Still quite solid. As right now the Hobbit is just gonna be looking at the destruction of the docks of his civilization. And of course with all of those huge boats, that's not gonna be any kind of water battle anymore at all, as ChronoJJ is gonna be emerging victorious without any kind of question whatsoever. As you can see that Mor did have an idea in Hoplit's coming for the docks, but it's just way too late, and those war barges are gonna be putting a stop to anything like that as well. Because of course, they're gonna be killing all of those units, and even those arrow ships from Mor are just not gonna be enough. And you can see that nothing is shooting in here. Nobody is even depositing anything inside, so really this position of the docks from Mor, that's kind of screenshot worthy. Because you would be hard pressed to find a worse position of docks than this. Not sure what was really the idea behind it. I'm guessing it's gonna be a habit from being an Atlantean, where you often want to build the dock where you have the villages. So it might be something from that. But yeah, here it's not a good idea. He's of course not gonna be paying for that mistake. He's gonna be paying for the fact that he wasn't really ready for the faster heroic, which is kinda hard to be ready for unless you are faster heroic in yourself. And well, of course, with the Migdol being finished as well, water pretty much full in power of ChronoJJ, his game is turning quite well for the blue player. And red is probably gonna be having quite significant issues how to deal with this, especially with having the strangled economy, as right now is through Dionysus. But no free skills are gonna be coming for him, and he doesn't have the favor for that anyway. So he's gonna be making one skill, and that's pretty much it. He doesn't have the favor at all. Yeah, he's having no favor for... He's not even gathering the favor for that at all. So this Hydra is gonna be... Well, Hydra, she pretty much is. Water Hydra is gonna be quite easy to kill, but problem could be coming. Could be coming from the Pentacounters, because unfortunately ChronoJJ just wasn't diligent enough in looking around, and Mor is using that opportunity. So well played by him. After that disaster with the docks on the left side, it definitely is an understandable positioning of the docks right on the right, and very well played. So let's see if maybe he's gonna be making it a bit more difficult for the blue player, even though probably not so much. He's like now luring the army right next to his docks, so that he can also produce a few more extra hammer ships, I'm guessing. Maybe not even so. Doesn't want to overact, it seems like, but he definitely could be using at least against the Scylla, because those are having the best picking against her, as 40% melee armor is lower than 69% in the pierce armor in there. Or 99% on the crush, of course. Do they actually deal crush or pierce damage against units? I think it's gonna be still crush, right? Yeah, it's still crush damage. Still gonna be crush damage. So basically you can see they are dealing literally 1 damage against the Scylla. So that's why they weren't really doing any kind of significant damage against it. So he definitely Chrono needs a few hammer ships if he wants to get rid of the Skyllas. And if a few more are gonna be coming forward as well a bit later. So right now securing second gold exactly as he needs. And the next gold is gonna be fairly safe as well, as it's not even relevant. Or rather, even water is not relevant to it, because it's right next to the wall of the map. There's even a room for villages behind it. It's quite nice for him, and that means quite a nice positioning if he's not gonna be really kind of too slow and giving some kind of opportunity to his opponent, who is right now even building up stables. It's gonna be stable and double archer range for him, so it's gonna alright. He's gonna be getting the gold there, and he already does have basically completely safe gold in the middle. Maybe he could be denied if ChronoJJ was having some kind of thoughts about landing in the middle. There's definitely a possibility, though not one that you see too often on Mediterranean, to be honest, even with maps like this. As there is finally some kind of combination of boats coming forward. So ChronoJJ is gonna be war barges with a few cabinets to get rid of the hammer ships, but he definitely needs to build a few hammer ships as well, because otherwise this Scylla is gonna be roaming the waters for quite a bit longer. Anyway, a bit of raiding attempted by ChronoJJ on the right, trying to have a look on the gold mines if maybe there is something that he could be easily picking off. Apparently not so much, but oh well, that's just 200 gold down the toilet. Just like that. That definitely wasn't ideal for Chrono. He wasn't expecting all that much of an army at this point. But yeah, of course, right now with all of the villages in the realm and in the empire, gathering the gold right under the pharaoh in here, he is definitely gonna be expected to be making a claim on this gold sooner rather than later. Probably by another Migdol, I'm thinking, because he could be using extra Migdol at this point, as he does have the 45, or not. Sorry, only TC. Normal TC already gathered, whereas Mor still doesn't have that, and that is gonna be resulting in quite a solid advantage on the water on the numbers, and of course having also enough units on the land to deal with the potential nuisance that is coming for him this way. Okay, Chrono having a lot of gold. He's dealing with the water kinda alright, but he really needs the hammer ships against those skills there. Those arrow ships are gonna be finer. Not fine, but finer. But yeah, those hammer ships would be a whole lot better. But anyway, there we go. Bronze is coming forward with restoration. Really? I mean, like, I can see the idea behind it, but that's not good enough. This is not good enough army. Because right now I would be even really fighting this with if I were ChronoJJ. Because he does have extra fire from the Migdol stronghold. He is producing extra units exactly into the battlefield. So he is gonna be making a bit of a chaos in the gold gathering for a moment. But that's definitely not worth it. You should have waited for something better, unless he's kind of desperate, unless he's thinking that he's in a desperate situation. And he does need to do anything at all to stay in the game. Because right now he's thinking about the second TC, the front one, but he doesn't have the resources for that yet. It seems like he's still building extra military in the docks. But yeah, well, right now he's losing absolutely everything as the war barges are getting enough numbers. But, oh, can you see those? Those are kind of really half dead, or half dead, like 90% dead, all of them. So if actually Mor is gonna be looking at this and he's gonna be noticing that he could be very easily damaging this army quite fast, and he actually will. So even though maybe ChronoJJ could have thought that it should be an easy one battle, it actually was anything but, because the boats were pretty much all of them gone. And right now the army is coming forward with another dock attempted to be built, with even Salt Amphora already being researched for the fishing boats in that. But yeah, that was really not well used. Not well used bronze and restoration in that. And you can see right now that Mor is recognizing that this game has gone, and he's not gonna be able to actually somehow salvage it, even though... Interesting decisions. Interesting decision yet again, looking at this. Would you look at this army right now for Mor? Chrono is having absolutely nothing. So right now Mor would be really in a good position for the water. But why is he actually not thinking that he can actually do more? Probably he noticed the 30C being captured by ChronoJJ, and he having problems getting even the second one. So of course, the longer this situation goes, the worse is gonna be for the Zeus. For the, well, for any enemy of the Egyptian, of course. And he basically thought that, yeah, right now it's not much of a point. Though there was gonna be a tricky moment with advance into this gold mine. Maybe, yeah, well, apparently not. Because you can see Chrono was already going on the left side. But from Mor's point of view, it could have been an interesting moment where he could have been maybe turning the battle around altogether if he was able to somehow deny the transition of this gold mine into this gold mine. So, yet again, maybe a bit premature resign here. You can see that ChronoJJ wasn't even advancing into Mythic, wasn't anywhere close at the same time. So this water really would have stopped Chrono from advancing into Mythic even more. Weird. Weird. But anyway, the resign did happen, and that means that we're gonna be in for game number 4. I mean, not Thor, 4 at least. Okay, let's check into the post game. ChronoJJ, yeah, was having a nice game. Was having quite a solid game. Of course, the faster heroic that caught more off guard, quite a lot more than it probably should have. 733, that's pretty much standard for vanilla. And he was having quite solid upgrades, ChronoJJ, above his opponent. So Mor probably was without upgrades whatsoever. He's having at least the hand axe and pickaxe. So at least that's kind of solid, but still wasn't even able to stockpile enough resources for the town center. Even the military units were kind of getting better for Mor. I really don't get that resign too much. I really think there was a lot more game to be played. But anyway, Mor decided that not. And ChronoJJ is getting one on the board, so GG.